Young man, listen to me. You've been staring at your phone, waiting, hoping, wondering if that message will ever come. You know she likes you. You've seen it in her eyes, heard it in her laughter, felt it in the way her presence warms the room. But she doesn't reach out, she doesn't call, she doesn't text, and it's tearing you apart. Why? I'll tell you why, but let me warn you. This isn't just about women, relationships, or romance. This is about you. This is about the truth you've been avoiding. The reason she stays quiet isn't just about her. It's about what you're not becoming. You see, in this generation, we are surrounded by noise. Yet in the things that matter most, there is silence. And her silence is not empty. It is loaded with meaning. It may be fear. It may be hesitation. It may be her past screaming, louder than her present. But sometimes her silence is a mirror, a reflection not of rejection, but of restraint. She is watching to see, will you lead or will you linger? Will you speak up or shrink back? She is not waiting for perfection, but she is longing for clarity, and clarity does not wait for permission. It steps forward in strength, in faith, and in truth. So many men today are waiting for a sign. But what if you are the sign? What if her silence is not punishment but invitation? Stay with me through this message, because by the time we're done, you won't just understand why she never contacts you. You'll know what to do about it. And more than that, you'll walk away not just as someone who understands her silence, but as someone who can finally break through it. There's a quiet war that rages inside her. A war between what she feels and what she allows herself to act on. She may smile when she sees you. Her eyes may linger. Her words may carry warmth that seems to pull you in. You sense it. There's something there. You're not imagining it. She does like you. But then the days go by and the message never comes. The phone never lights up with her name. There's silence where you expected connection, and you begin to question everything. Your worth, your instinct, even the truth of what you saw in her. But what you don't realize is that while you're struggling with doubt on the outside, she's wrestling with something far deeper on the inside. Emotion is powerful. It moves like a tide inside her, pulling her toward you. But intention is where emotion either becomes reality or fades into memory. And intention is often where the war is lost. She may feel something for you, truly, deeply. She may think of you at night, replaying conversations in her mind, wondering if you noticed the way she laughed a little longer at your jokes. But feelings on their own are not enough to make a woman reach out. Feelings need safety, they need certainty, and more often than not, they need something you haven't shown her yet. Not more charm, not more attraction, but leadership, boldness, direction. There are wounds she hasn't told you about, fears that no amount of affection can silence. She's learned, sometimes the hard way, that just because she feels something doesn't mean it's wise to act on it. Because emotion has betrayed her before. Her heart has written checks that reality never cashed. So now she holds back. She waits. She listens more than she speaks. She watches more than she reaches. This is the war between emotion and intention. It is not that she doesn't care. It's that she cares too much to risk it again for someone who won't lead. She will not step into the unknown unless she believes you've already taken a step into courage. And if you haven't, she will stay silent. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she's protecting herself. And here's the part that most men never understand. This war isn't something you can fix with pressure. You can't demand a message. You can't shame her into contact. But what you can do is become the kind of man whose presence resolves that war. A man who turns confusion into clarity. A man who, without speaking 1,000 words, communicates exactly where he stands and what he wants. Because when that happens, when she senses that intention, it gives her permission to let emotion finally win. And until then, the silence will remain. She wants to speak. You need to know that. She wants to reach out, to say something, to let her guard down and whisper the words you've been longing to hear. But there's something that grabs her throat every time her fingers hover over the keyboard. every time she thinks about calling, every time she imagines what might happen if she just let it happen. It's not disinterest. It's not a lack of feeling. It's fear. Raw, aching, invisible fear. The kind that paralyzes the heart and convinces even the boldest soul to stay quiet. You see, most men look at silence and interpret it as indifference. They think, if she liked me, I'd know. If she cared, she'd show it. But that's not how it works. Not with her. Because for her, love isn't light. Love is weight. Love is cost. Love is history. And somewhere in that history, whether you know it or not, she learned that opening up comes with pain. That speaking first can mean falling alone. That caring more can mean losing everything. So she stays still. She hides behind caution. Not because she doesn't feel, but because feeling deeply has hurt her before. She fears rejection. Yes. But it's deeper than that. She fears being misunderstood. She fears being too much, too intense, too forward, too vulnerable. She fears giving her heart to someone who might take it and hold it carelessly, or worse, walk away in silence after she's exposed what was sacred. That fear doesn't announce itself, it doesn't scream, it whispers that it's better to be quiet and safe than honest and shattered. It whispers that if he really wants you, he'll break the silence first. It whispers that if he doesn't, you were never truly wanted. This fear doesn't always look like trembling or tears. Sometimes it looks like pride. It looks like coldness. It looks like her being busy, distracted, unreachable. But underneath that mask is a heart that remembers the sting of disappointment, the embarrassment of misreading signals, the shame of giving more than she got. She's not playing games. She's protecting herself. Because behind every woman who holds back is a girl who once didn't and paid for it. And so the silence becomes her shield. Not because she's trying to punish you, not because she's trying to manipulate you, but because silence is the only thing that's never let her down. Words once made her bleed. Now she clings to silence like a lifeline. She hopes you'll see through it. She hopes you'll understand. But most of all, she hopes you'll be different. That maybe this time someone will speak into the silence first. Not with pressure, but with peace. Not with desperation, but with direction. And when that fear finally fades, she might find her voice again. You look at her and you think she's mysterious, complicated, hard to read. You analyze every glance, every pause in her reply, every little shift in tone, trying to solve her like a puzzle. But the truth is, she's not a puzzle. She doesn't need decoding. What she is protected, not confusing, guarded. What you're seeing isn't complexity. It's defense. And her heart isn't some scattered riddle left for you to piece together. It's a fortress. One that didn't build itself overnight. One that wasn't always there. There was a time when she was wide open. A time when her words were free. Her trust was automatic. Her love was without calculation. But that was before life taught her to be careful. Before someone she believed in taught her that not everyone who knocks deserves to be let in. She's not trying to frustrate you. She's not being distant for fun. What you're experiencing is the result of battles she never asked for. Betrayals that showed up wearing promises. Moments that shattered her sense of safety when she gave everything and got only silence, confusion, or pain in return. So she learned. She learned to build walls. Not out of pride, but out of necessity. Not because she doesn't feel, but because she feels so much that she can't afford to give that part of herself away cheaply. Every brick in that fortress is a memory, a lesson, a scar. And now, she doesn't just hand her heart to anyone who smiles at her. Now she watches. She waits. She tests. Not to play games, but to see if what you say can stand under pressure. She's not interested in empty charm. She's looking for something rare, something real, something that makes her feel safe enough to come down from her tower. She may like you. She may really like you. But liking you isn't enough for her to lower the gates. Because she's learned that chemistry isn't the same as character. And attraction without trust is just a beautiful disaster waiting to happen. So she keeps her distance not because she doesn't want to draw close, but because she's hoping you'll prove that you know how to approach gently, that you understand the weight of what you're asking for, that you're not just trying to get in, you're willing to stay, to fight for the key, not force the door. She wants to be known but not exposed. She wants to be pursued but not pressured. She wants to be chosen, not chased. And she needs to know that the one knocking is strong enough not to climb over the walls but wise enough to wait at the gate until she opens it freely. Because when she finally does, when that fortress opens, what's inside isn't confusion. It's clarity, it's passion, it's loyalty, it's depth, it's love that runs so deep it needed a fortress to protect it until someone worthy arrived. You think she's giving mixed signals. One moment she's warm, present, laughing at your jokes, locking eyes like the world's fading away around her. The next, she's distant, slow to reply, vague in her responses, like you've slipped down the list of things she cares about, and it messes with you. You go from confidence to confusion, from this is going somewhere to maybe I imagined it all. But what if the problem isn't in how she feels, but in how you've been reading the signs? What if she hasn't changed, but you misunderstood what she was never saying in the first place? You see, we live in a world where silence is loaded, where we expect clarity from expressions, commitment from casualness, devotion from a look across the room. And when those expectations aren't met in the way we hoped, we call it mixed signals. But the truth is, what we often call mixed is just the byproduct of unspoken assumptions. You assumed that her attention meant an invitation. You assumed her warmth meant pursuit. But she may have never intended to lead you on. She may have only been present in the moment, enjoying it, yes, but not attaching to it, not defining it, not promising anything beyond it. And yet the weight of your expectations, though unspoken, becomes deafening. She can feel it even if you don't say it. She can sense the pressure, the need, the silent demand for her to act a certain way, respond within a certain time, show up in your world the way you've imagined in your mind. And that's when she starts to pull away. Not because she doesn't like you, but because she feels the invisible burden of being what you expect her to be, without ever telling her what you're really feeling. You're waiting for her to say something, but she's already reacting to what you haven't said. Women don't just listen to your words, they listen to your silence. They read your energy. They notice your patterns. And when those things don't match, when you act confident but wait for her to lead, when you flirt but avoid clarity, when you engage but never express your intention, she notices. And without answers, without knowing where you really stand, she will protect herself. She will back away. She won't chase what she can't define because she's not interested in guessing where she stands in your life. She may genuinely like you, but she will not fight for something that leaves her feeling confused. She doesn't want to decode you. She wants to understand you. She wants to feel safe with you. But if all she has to go on is assumptions and unsaid words, she'll choose distance over discomfort every time. Because nothing feels worse to her than showing up for a connection that turns out to be an illusion she created alone. She's not waiting for a miracle. She's not hoping that the universe will somehow align the stars and drop love into her lap. She's watching for something real, something intentional, something that doesn't flinch when it's time to lead. Because whether she ever says it out loud or not, every woman is looking for a man who understands the weight of initiative. Not a boy who reacts only when the moment is perfect. Not someone who dances around desire, afraid to be direct. But a man, clear, steady, certain, who is not afraid to take the first step even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. This is what most men miss. They think because she likes them, she'll make it obvious. They wait for signals, wait for clarity, wait for her to make a move. But what they don't see is that she's already doing what most men never do. She's watching. She's testing quietly if you will step up or stay passive, if you will pursue her with purpose or just entertain the idea of her when it's convenient. And if you hesitate long enough, if you stall in fear or overanalyze instead of act, she will take your silence as your answer. Because whether she likes you or not, she will not carry the relationship on her back from day one. And this is where many men fall into frustration. They wonder why she's not calling, not texting, not reaching out. But the truth is, she was never supposed to. It was never her place to prove herself to you. What she's looking for isn't desperation or grand gestures, it's direction. She wants to feel like she's being led somewhere, not dragged into something. She wants to see that you've thought this through, that you've counted the cost, that you're not just acting on impulse or desire, but on conviction. And if you're not ready to lead, she's not going to pretend you are. Initiative doesn't mean control. It doesn't mean dominating or demanding. It means having the courage to go first, to speak first, to act first, to risk first. It means stepping into the unknown, not with arrogance, but with the quiet confidence of a man who knows what he wants and is willing to pursue it with honor. Initiative is not about getting the result you want. It's about showing the character that reveals who you are. And for her, that character means everything. Because if she can't trust you to lead in the small moments now, how could she ever trust you with her heart later? So when she goes silent, when she doesn't call or text or move closer, it may not be rejection, it may be a test. She's waiting to see if you're the kind of man who takes action, who brings clarity, who has the spine to say, "This is what I want, and I'm willing to pursue it." Not a boy hoping to be chosen, but a man bold enough to choose first. She's not reaching out. She's not texting first. She's not chasing. And you think it means she's lost interest, that she's moved on, that maybe you got it wrong, and the connection you thought you felt was nothing more than imagination. But you're mistaken. Because her silence doesn't mean she isn't thinking about you. Her stillness doesn't mean she isn't hoping. What you're calling distance might actually be attention. Because when she waits, she's not retreating, she's watching. She's watching how you handle uncertainty. She's watching what you do when she doesn't give you a green light. She's watching to see if your interest is based on momentary attraction or long-term intention. She's not idle. She's discerning. She's been through enough to know that pursuit without purpose is just noise. That charm without clarity leads nowhere. So she watches, not because she's playing games, but because she's listening to who you really are when no one is performing. She wants to know if your energy matches your words, if your actions speak when your mouth goes quiet. Because she's not impressed by men who move only when encouraged. She's looking for the kind of man who moves because he's convicted. The truth is, her waiting is not weakness, it's wisdom. She's learned that sometimes, the most powerful thing she can do is not move, not chase, not initiate. Because the right man will recognize that her quiet is not rejection, it's invitation. It's a space created to see what you'll do with it. And many men fail this moment not because they aren't capable, but because they're too focused on needing a sign. They want confirmation before they act. They want guarantees before they risk. But she's not looking for a man who only shows up when it's easy. She's looking for one who steps forward even when it's quiet, even when it's uncertain, even when he's not sure how it will turn out. Her watching is not passive, it's purposeful. She's paying attention to the little things, how you carry yourself, how you talk to others, how consistent you are. She notices when you disappear instead of pursue. She sees when you hesitate instead of speak. She reads between the lines of every moment. And it's not that she's expecting perfection, it's that she's searching for alignment. Does your spirit match hers? Does your vision go deeper than surface-level connection? Can she trust you not just with her time, but with her truth? So while you're busy wondering why she hasn't made a move, she's wondering if you even see the moment that's in front of you. She's not waiting for you to be someone you're not. She's hoping you'll rise into who you were always meant to be. A man of courage, of direction, of depth. One who doesn't wait to be chosen, but who knows how to choose with strength, speak with clarity, and act with intention. Because when she sees that, she won't need to watch anymore. She'll know, so now you see it. It was never that she didn't care. It was never that she was playing games. Her silence was not rejection, it was protection. It was fear. It was wisdom. It was strength wrapped in stillness. And you've been misreading the moment, calling her absence indifference, when in truth, it was an invitation for you to rise. She's not looking for a perfect man. She's not asking you to be flawless. She's asking you to be present, to be intentional, to show initiative, clarity, conviction. She wants to feel safe before she feels seen, and she'll never come forward if she's forced to lead where you won't go. You want her heart? Then earn her trust. You want her voice? Then create a space where she's no longer afraid to speak. You want her contact? Then be the kind of man she wants to respond to, not because you pressured her, but because you let her. This generation doesn't need more passivity. It doesn't need more waiting and wondering and wishing. It needs men who are willing to stand up and say, "I'm here, I'm ready, I'm clear." Because when a man walks in confidence and peace, when he knows who he is and what he wants, he makes the decision easy for her. He doesn't force her to choose, he gives her a reason to. So if she hasn't reached out, don't assume she's forgotten you. Ask yourself, have you given her anything worth responding to? Have you shown her the strength that silence tests? Have you become the man who doesn't chase feelings but walks in purpose? Because the truth is this, she's not unreachable. She's just waiting for someone worth opening up to. And the moment you step into that kind of strength, the silence will break. The wall will come down. The message will come through, and when it does, it won't be just because she liked you. It'll be because she finally felt safe to show it.